Hi, my name is Jeremy Shtern. I'm a postdoctoral research fellow in the Faculty of Communication and Design at Ryerson University. My workshop at the Association for Media Literacy and OISE conference was called Cyberbullying, Digital Media Safety, and it discussed a pilot workshop that I've been doing for primary school classrooms. The biggest point I think that the workshop had was that we need to be pragmatic in our digital media literacy teaching. And the example I used was that you wouldn't teach sex education by telling children not to have sex. That it's important to understand that these tools are being incorporated into the daily lives of children, and in particular young children, and that we need to talk meaningfully about the ways that children can make smart decisions and to try to address some of the mistakes that they can make, often through not being adequately informed of the ramifications of using these sorts of technologies and tools. And it's not just enough to tell them that their privacy is going to be violated and that they can end up being cyberbullied, but we have to talk to them meaningfully about developing strategies for mitigating the risk when they use them, and most above all about making smart decisions. Well, I presented some of the exercises we actually do in the workshop for primary school students, which involves, there's a great film produced by a British government agency looking specifically at cyberbullying that then has the perspectives of all the different characters, and it allows children to see the same event through different people's eyes. From a literacy standpoint, targeting primary and junior students for early intervention is very important. And that's one of the findings that I talked about just from my own experience of doing the workshop, that you get to students before their social life is based around their social networks. So you have a chance to get them thinking about making smart decisions before those decisions involve opting out of things or pulling back. I mean, there's going to be immense peer pressure if all of your friends have pictures that they shouldn't have on their Facebook pages. If you're the one in the social group that wants to pull back those pictures or wants to pull back your privacy settings, that's a different story than if you can talk to them about it before they even get a Facebook account. So when they go to sign up for a Facebook account for the first time, maybe they say, well, I should be doing this with my parents, or I know the privacy settings are important and I need to look at this more carefully. I see a direct overlap between internet safety and media literacy, and I think we need to start thinking about digital technologies as a form of media, and that the same sort of critical literacies that we need to develop towards television in particular, around being sort of an active and critical member of the audience and understanding that you're using services that are run for profit and that you have a role in that, and you have to be sort of critical in the way you use your eyeballs to help advertisers profit. The exact same issues apply to services like Facebook. Too many children think they get them for free, that these are wonderful, great free services, and they don't understand that issues like privacy and issues like protecting your online identity are directly linked to the business models of those services. So in that sense, I think children's safety online is intimately linked to media literacy. It's great that there's a rising awareness of the privacy issues related to the use of digital technologies, in particular to the use of social networks. But at a certain sense, I think privacy is just part of a bigger issue. And that issue, I think, is not just concern for privacy, it is concern for digital media literacy. That we need to understand systemically how these services work, what we as audiences or users are getting and giving, or what we're giving up in exchange for what we're getting back from these services, and we have to make informed, critical decisions about where we want to draw the limits. Because that's not, I mean, it's not enough to simply say, well, we need to protect our privacy, we shouldn't give away any information, because that's how they work, and it's certain that people derive great pleasure and enjoyment from using them. But it is, I think, a bigger picture. So that's the first, I'd say. The first is that we need to start thinking about privacy as reflecting a bunch of bigger questions that there needs to be more literacy around related to the use of digital technologies. The second is, I think, the idea that there are clear-cut rules and responsibilities that can just simply be applied, and that there's a right way and a wrong way to do anything. And cyberbullying is a great example of this, because you're talking about objectionable speech that can be produced by students outside of the classroom that can have direct implications for the way that the learning experience happens within the classroom. And there's just no clear-cut set of rules about what the jurisdiction of schools is on children's behavior outside of the classroom. And there's no clear right and wrong. And we have to understand that it's something, these are new, they've come along relatively quick. Internet time is a lot faster than legal time. And to a certain degree, it's important for people working in and around schools to be informed about these issues, because these cases are going to have to be adjudicated, for lack of a better term, on a case-by-case basis often. I mean, there's no overarching principle you can just say, you're not allowed to punch another student. That's clear-cut. But anything involving whose speech rights need to be protected and whose speech rights are being violated involving the internet, there's no clear-cut rules that apply like that.
Wonderful.